Hey guys, welcome back to ZAKARI, HIKARI. My name is Zach, and here we discuss everything related to manifestation, conscious manifestation, higher consciousness, Neville Goddard, the law of assumption, all that good stuff. All right, before I start, if you guys are sick of really going around the same identity again and again and again, and you are sick of not seeing your manifestations or losing your manifestations, that's what I offer one-on-one. It's not just coaching. We do an entire identity shift and get to the root cause. All right. So if you guys want to work with me, all my information is down below. So this video was inspired by one of you who, and again, this is all out of love, but this is probably going to be one of the most important videos I've made so far. Okay. And this subscriber, they left some message or they left a comment on one of my videos saying, first of all, they were thanking me and said that they had gone through, EMDR therapy. And after the EMDR therapy, they felt this final big release. And finally, they got a text message from their SP. All right. Then went on to another video of mine and wrote this whole comment. And I get it because it's an old version of me. Okay, and I'll go into that and explain what that means. But they were in there just saying, I am adamant that if you have trauma and you have CPTSD and you have PSTD and you have this and that and the other thing, that you need to heal it first. You need to heal it and get over it and do EMDR therapy or whatever else you need to do in order to process it and move on from it before you can even think about looking at manifestation. All right, guys. I'm here to tell you right now, that is the trap. That is the trap. That's the trap, thinking that belief right there. Like, what you've really said is, I can't have what I want. I can't live the life that I want. I can't live from the identity that I want to be unless I fix this one specific thing that is broken. And the second you've accepted that as your truth, the second you've identified with that belief, you've already chosen the identity where whatever it is that you want or that version of you never arrives. You never shift into it because you're already setting yourself up to fight this one identity that is identified with all that trauma. All right? Stick with me. Please stick with me on this one because this is what a lot of you, most of you, are missing. All right? This isn't about trauma. This is about identity. You exist in infinite different realities right now. All existing, all coexisting at the same time. Time is not linear, my second video. Okay? As long as you keep choosing that identity that went through that specific drama, that specific trauma, whatever it is, you'll stay stuck living as that character forever. No matter what healing you do, no matter how much you feel better about that one identity, no matter how much, fucking meditation and kumbaya and kundalini and all this bullshit you do, you're still identifying as that one identity that has that trauma. And that's what's going to keep you stuck. Repeating the same story over and over and over and over again. It's just another version of victim consciousness disguised to make you feel better. That's all that's going on. And here's how it plays out. So let's take an SP example for a situation, because I know a lot of you, most of you are SP, all right? Someone says they want to manifest their SP, all right? And they focus, they affirm, they visualize, they get in the state, and then one day the text comes. Right? The text shows up. Woohoo, a fucking text. But the text shows up. All right? Great, it's movement, whatever. But for this individual subscriber, and this is all out of love, but again, the text is not the end game. The text is just one piece of the puzzle. It's just one part of the unfoldment. And then you think, finally, I have success. Oh my God, it's amazing. I'm going to write my success story and I'm going to email whoever it is that got me here. And I'm just so excited about it, right? But no, what happens? That version doesn't even feel fulfilled. They still don't feel chosen. They still feel like they're chasing something outside of them. Because deep down, they're still being the version of themselves that needs to heal first. That needs to fix themselves first before they can accept it. So even when they win, they still feel like they're losing. And I cannot even begin to explain to you how much that was me, right? Like literally, it felt like I'd get a win, and then it just felt like, yeah, but that doesn't matter, but I'm still broken. There's still something wrong with me. That was my favorite fucking story to do. Literally, I was you. If you're watching this, I was you. I commented on a Tom Kieran video like 2 or 3 years ago. I said the same thing. You can't be doing this stuff until you get through your trauma, and you have to do all this fucking shit, and you need to blah, 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 blah. And until you fix yourself, because there's something wrong with me, nothing can happen. And that was my story. That was the story I kept telling myself. That's not manifestation, guys. That is looping breadcrumbs. It's not. That's staying in the character of the person who's always chasing, always broken, always almost there. And then I see other people, trying to teach others, well, just focus that you have it. Just focus that you have it. Just be it now. Just focus that you have it. Yes, that is absolutely true. But you do not understand. Like, I get it. If you're still identifying as a certain character within your life and you're not even sure what the story is you're identified with, which happens to so many of my clients who are like, oh my God, I didn't even realize that story was playing. Someone commented yesterday on that. Like, literally, if you don't even understand what story you're playing back here, and you don't know how to choose a different story, or you don't know how to be that character, you're gonna keep going up against a wall again and again and again of that one identity, and it's gonna drag you right back, and then you're gonna affirm it, you're gonna be like, oh my God, we're together, blah, 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 but I'm not the person who's chosen, but I'm the person who's broken, but I'm the person who has something wrong with me. So then you go to fucking EMDR therapy, and then they just label you with more shit, unpacking more trauma from one specific timeline, from one specific version of yourself. Your world will never outrun the character that you're choosing to be. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. And this is why healing first is a trap. And this is the ecosystem that all the fucking coaches out there, put. Like, do you realize what I need to heal first really is? Like, really think about this. It's just another assumption. It's just another story. It's just another mask you've decided to wear. Right? Like, every day you live there, you delay it. You keep proving that story to yourself. You're going to keep finding evidence for why that's true. You're going to find more things to fix, find more things to heal, find things more wrong with that character. Right? And you keep waiting for permission to finally step into the identity of the one who already is. So you keep waiting for permissions for it, because once you fix that one thing, once you get this thing under control, once you, fucking look at this thing from a different light, then everything's going to allow you to have or live the life of your dreams. It feels noble. It feels like you're doing the work. It feels like you're taking charge, and you're taking, what would you call it? Accountability for everything that you went through. And if you had certain actions that you played out from that character, you're thinking, well, I got to fix all that so I don't become that person again. I was that person for fucking years. Years. I studied this for years before I ever even dreamed of coaching, because I was going around in a circle. And I saw all these people out there, and it's like, yeah, but they don't have that trauma. They don't have that thing that happened to them. They didn't go through what I went through. So I need to fix this first because I'm special. That was my story, guys. Like, I'm being real. And that is the trick. Because it's the same old character with a new fucking costume. The costume of healed. The costume of working on yourself. The costume of the person who fucking, took accountability and grew from there. And here's the real cost. When you believe that you have to heal before you can manifest, when really you're manifesting everything anyways, you make healing the goal. Not living. You're making healing the goal of what you're trying to get, not living from the state. So you make fixing the character more important than stepping into who you already are. Guys, you don't need to heal the character. You need to stop being the character. Be a different character. And that's the thing. If you don't know what stories that you're telling, that you don't always think in words. You don't even think in memories. You don't always think in certain things. It's always linked together from imagination. And if you can't even take a step back big enough to see what's there, that's what I do. That's what you should be doing. If you're paying for a coach or a lesson and you're just going around in circles, just looking at, oh, but you're just not whatever, and you're not actually like going through an identity shift and having someone lead you from who you're being to who you're choosing to be and uncovering the awareness, then you're wasting your time and your money. It's all about identity. It's not about, yes, manifestation is absolutely real. You're manifesting the whole thing. It's all about states and imagination and everything that I teach on this channel. But it's always the identity first, because the identity is going to literally dictate what you're naturally imagining, where your thoughts are naturally going, what you're naturally expecting. So you're not battling every thought that comes up. You're staying in the state of that character. So what manifestation, what it really demands, guys, like, it doesn't care about your past. It doesn't care about what you went through. It doesn't care about what diagnoses you picked up along the way. It only cares about one thing: who you are being now. Literally. Guys, I did it. Like, I have it right here. I did the whole Joe Dispenza new self meditations of looking at the old self and step into your new self of 65 minutes a fucking day, morning and night. I read and fucking highlighted the whole David Hawkins letting go book, thinking that there's something wrong with me, that I have to get to this certain place in order to get there. I did all the trauma workshops. I hired a CBT therapist back in where I'm from, online. I did EDMR therapy with a BetterHelp therapist, and it got me absolutely nowhere but just feeling like more shit about that character. And even when everything came up and all the shit went, I was still identified as a person that story happened to. So you're just identifying with the same past again and again and again, and you're keeping yourself there. Like, the identity you're standing in right now, that's what mirrors back to you always. Always. All right? Let me put it this way, right? One of the video that popped off, manifestation is a video game. All right? So it's like, imagine you're playing a video game. Okay? You're playing a video game, and every time you sit down to start the game, you pick the same avatar, the same fucking character, the trauma survivor. Right? The trauma survivor with all their fucking bullshit in the past and all the shit that they went through. And that avatar comes with its own storyline. And the world reacts to you in a certain way. And all the NPCs, they talk to you a certain way. Right? Love, all the same way. All the fucking side quests about survival and healing and proving yourself. And like showing that you're worthy enough and going through this whole fucking game again and again and again, trying to make yourself like okay or healed or whatever the fuck it is. And in the meantime, all the other quests, you're just putting them on the side. You're going through all these side quests, and you have to go through all this and this and this, and you just keep adding more quests to yourself until you actually get to where you want to go. And no matter how hard you fucking grind, the storyline doesn't change. It keeps you in the same fucking reality again and again and again. And you're blind to it because part of the avatar, you don't know what your trauma is. And even if you do know what your trauma is, you're still linking it, and because it feels better to have a trauma story and give all your power away to that than to actually look at it, see it, and then actually go somewhere else, to choose something else, get another add-on, whatever the fuck it is to change the story. Woo! But the second you pick a new avatar, the second you pick that new version of you, the second that you actually embody the version of you that never had the trauma, you transcend it. The one who's already whole, the one who's already chosen, the one who's already complete, the one who's already loved, suddenly the entire fucking game shifts. It goes on easy mode. It becomes fun. It becomes a whole different game. It's like literally a whole different game. You're going from this like fucking Biohazard to, I don't know, what's a fun game? Pokemon's the only thing that's come to my head right now, but you know what I mean? It's not like this big dramatic thing, right? The world opens up in a way that it never did before for you. And, most people never realize this. They spend their whole lives thinking they need to fix that one avatar. They go to therapy. They go to EMDR. They go to this. They will argue for their limitations. They will say, no, but that trauma happened to me. I experienced that, so that is who I am. Then it'll be just like me on one of Tom Kieran's videos writing this whole message, or what my lovely subscriber, or I don't even know, watcher, viewer, who went in and said, yeah, but you got to heal the character first. You got to heal the character. You got to do the EMDR and do this because you don't know what it's like to have trauma, and you don't know what it's like to have PTSD and CPTSD. Oh, really? That was another diagnosis I was labeled with, guys. Like, I had that one. Added to the OCD and the fucking this and the fucking that. Like, it doesn't matter because it's all the stories. And you're keeping yourself in that story. So then you're going to do all this fucking work and be like, and have all this shit come up. And then you're going to get one text message from an SP. And most likely, no offense, but that SP is going to go away right again because you didn't change the actual character. You're still identifying as a person who had to go through all that shit in order to even have any type of love in your life. So it just keeps going around in every circle again and again and again. And every day you stay in that identity, you just keep robbing yourself of the happiness and the love that you want to have, of the freedom, of the safety, of the money, of whatever the fuck it is. You keep robbing yourself of your own manifestations, staying in that identity, thinking that you're doing something noble. You're living as a version of yourself who waits. You're living as a version who needs permission. The version of you who never fully arrives. And here's the cruel irony, okay? Even when you manifest something, a text, a call, a little shift, a free fucking cup of coffee, whatever the fuck it is, whenever you manifest something, it still doesn't satisfy you. Because you're still being the one who has to heal, who has to fix, the one who isn't whole yet. So you just keep going on this fucking hamster wheel again and again and again. And then you'll get a little text, you'll celebrate, you'll write a text message or a comment or, email or whatever. And you, oh my God, it's amazing. I got a fucking text message. And then you go right back again. Right back to the same loop of thinking that there's something wrong with you. Right back to the same identity again and again and again and again and again and again. I was there, guys. I was there. I spent so much money on courses and this and that trying to figure out what was wrong with me. I had the story of that. And that's why it feels like crumbs. That's why it never even sticks, because you're still thinking that it's you can't get there yet. You can't get there yet. You can't get there yet. Your trauma doesn't stop manifestation. Your awareness is manifesting. Manifesting is just awareness outpictured. That's all it is. But your insistence on being the one who has trauma does. Because that is awareness. That is what's creating your entire reality from every moment of now, again and again and again. So guys, you got two choices. Fulfillment, non-fulfillment. You can keep looping as the one who has to heal, who has to get through all this bullshit, who has to, keep playing out the same script, living in the same reality, living in the same world with the same delays and chasing the same fucking little wins and the breadcrumbs and that just never fill you. So you just keep going on this loop forever. Or you can step into the identity of being the person, the one who's already whole, already chosen, already living in the wish fulfilled. Doesn't need to chase, doesn't need to heal, doesn't need to fix, doesn't need to do shit. And let me be clear. That shift is not about techniques. It's not about affirming your way there. That's why people always say, yeah, but robotic affirmations, they work for me sometimes. Okay, then why are you still, but if that was the end all solution to all of it, then why are you still here? Because when you start robotically affirming, or whatever technique you're doing, you still go right back to the same identity because you haven't actually uncovered what is back there. So it just keeps looping again and again and again and again and again and again and again. It's not about healing sessions. It's not about reliving your past of the one 3D past that you experience. It's about who you decide to be right now, period. That is it. That's all there is. So the only question is, how much longer you want to keep being the one who waits? Really, how much longer do you really want to be the one who still waits, who keeps waiting, who keeps looking to heal, who keeps looking for permission slips out there in order to have what they want now? How much longer do you want to be that person? You can be just like this subscriber or your viewer or whatever, who just all the love is there, but just running comments and like you're literally just proving that you're still being that identity. You're not proving anything to me. You're just holding yourself back. Like, guys, if you're done looping fucking crumbs and you're done being on this healing journey of going around in circles from the same identity of the one who is that, and you're ready to actually step into the person who is, like, That's the work I do one-on-one. That is what I do. I don't even like the term manifestation coach. I'm not coaching shit. I'm literally helping you shift identities from being the person who keeps looping the same shit why you're not seeing manifestation, because every time you try to step into a state, your mind fights you and you go right back to the same fucking state. You go right back to the same bullshit again. That's the blind spot. That's the blind spot everybody has. All right? This isn't about fixing trauma. It's about literally identity. And once you shift that, everything else has to shift. I am literally living proof of this. Literally. I'm making this video right now as my boyfriend is downstairs waiting for me to make this video because I shifted who I was and now I'm in the fucking happiest life I've ever had. I could have ever even experienced. That's why I started this channel, because I was so sick of everyone just focusing on techniques and just getting in this instead of actually looking at the identity of shifting and choosing and being. Because that is what creates everything in your life. You're in an identity at all times. Are you going to be in the same fucking pattern, the same loop forever? Or are you going to be there? And if you guys want help with that, that's the work I do. All right? But only you can decide. Only you can decide when you're done being the one who waits. And when you're ready, I'm here. And if you can do it yourself, do it. But stop telling yourself that you had all this fucking trauma, because all it's going to do is keep you in that state again and again and again. That's it. All right? So I wanted to hop on here and say this because I just, this whole trauma healing thing, it's just a never-ending loop. And I was stuck on it. I was stuck on this hamster wheel for fucking years thinking there was something wrong with me, until I realized that I was actually perfect and I chose everything. And I saw it for what it was. I saw it for what it was, and I chose, and I let all that bullshit go. Does it take a little bit of mental discipline? Yeah. Do you need a little bit of tools to figure that out? Yes. Because if everyone would just sit there and just close their eyes and just say, okay, I'm that person now, then this wouldn't exist. There wouldn't be any need for this, guys. Only you can decide what you want to do. But if you take nothing else away from this video, stop identifying as someone who needs healing or fixing, because you are absolutely perfect. And I love you. Okay? All right. I love you guys, and I will talk to you guys soon. All right?